number for today's excursion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're gonna put it here. Still here in Vietnam for the next excursion.
And then we're gonna take the bus. Show them what we're gonna take. Oh, wow. No.
Smells good.
What number are we?
Morning.
14.
No.
Number 14.
14.
So we are on number 14. Bus number 14. There we are. Chuchi tunnels.
Jason Superstar. Yeah, your ticket. You take the big grab. Here we go. Thank you. Superstar Jason. Your ticket. Thank you. Morning. Where you come from? Philippines. Salamat. I love Philippines. Salamat. 1, 2, 3 ticket. Yes, you take the one back. Đi sành vui luôn. 2, 3. Sành xe xong rồi đây, xe rồi nè. Salamat.
Alright.
Good morning.
There we are.
Same spot.
Here?
Yeah.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey kids, have a fun time.
We have a question
So what
and
happened
answer
about the
portion
napalm? This is the
here.
horrible story. America during the war in Vietnam,
And we have
They
a smart
drop-
guy there. The back.
they dropped
Free candy.
18 million liters of the toxic chemical, including the dioxin, and they drop all over the whole German trail. They say 90% people that live around the area, they get contaminated with the Agent Orange. So they make the body fresh, the skin cancer. Yeah. Something wrong with the baby.
Oh.
And it take how many generations can you guess to finish?
Generation.
How many generations? You go show your finger. Only
2.
one them. Three, the same, not the same mistake. How many? Just
How
show
many
your
generations
one
is
arm. 2.
5.
Wow!
4. I say 4.
To rid of the Asian Orange. So the first generation to the second generation, because when they make baby, they don't censor the body, so people come out to become deformed. And then
That's
from the
why.
top to the fourth, from the fourth to the fifth, people they know. So the doctor say not to make baby.
Oh.
And it's relating to American history story. Big Kent State Ohio University. The student that roasted inside the university compound because Nixon he tell lie. Before he became the president, he changed the policy. Vietnamization. The South Vietnam fighting against the North Vietnam without the American presence. In fact, extend the war in land Cambodia. One word to change her life. Love your
Enemy.
Enemy.
yeah, that's the answer. Why I told you?
Embarrassing.
Thank you. You don't disappoint me because 99.9% from Philippines they are. See, they are Christian. That's why everybody say love your neighbor. No neighbor. Someone you will not disappoint me. So love your neighbor. She's trying to forgive and to forget the man to drop the bomb over her body. Ngày mình xa nhau, người đàn ông hay đi bên em là người như thế nào? Sợ người ta không yêu thương em, anh biết phải làm sao? Nếu một ngày người em yêu bồi bàn, em chẳng tìm những thứ cao sang. Nếu sau này họ ra đi vội vàng, Anh vẫn chờ em dấu muôn mong. Biết em yêu người ấy đã rất nhiều. Anh hỏi lòng anh có bao nhiêu. Trái tim anh giờ đã quên nuông chiều. Xin đừng quên ta đã từng yêu. Xin đừng quên ta đã từng yêu. Salamat.
Salamat.
Catholicism are the biggest religions in Vietnam. Cao Dai draws heavy
The main color in the Cao Dai song.
What's that? Illegal?
Yeah. The blue one represents for Taoist, and the red one represents for Confucius, and yellow one is represent for Buddha.
Hearts to answer, can you see? Baby, tell me how can I tell you that I love you more than I. Show me how can I show you I'm blinded by your light. When you touch me now, I can touch you to find out the truth is true. I love I don't know VI by Jason Superstar. So why the Vietnam War? Why American come here? Why? This is my common question. I asked 25 years ago by myself. Why the Vietnam War? Why American come here? I give you.
Protect interest.
Stop communism.
That's the answer, sir. Here we go. Wow. 2 candidates for you to stop the communism. That's the key answer. So the North Vietnam, they are communists. And the South Vietnam, they are not communist. American worry if the South Vietnam, they are communists, and the whole Southeast Asia, everybody is communist. Philippines, Australia, New Zealand, everybody is a communist. This is a big press for American. So before American come to Vietnam, they have some excuse to come to Vietnam, but they are very wrong. After the Vietnam War, right now we are communists.
Yeah.
Philippines not communist. Beautiful, this is my first time. Wow, so nice. Because it's just opened 1 month ago, this one, but it's not finished yet. This one they connect to the Mekong Delta. Oh my God, so nice.
Mekong.
Gulf of Tonkin resolution was passed by the United States Congress. The resolution was a response to the Gulf of Tonkin incident that had taken place just a few days earlier, in which the North Vietnamese Navy was blamed for attacking US ships on 2 separate occasions. While it is accepted that USS Maddox did exchange fire with 3 enemy torpedo boats on the 2nd of August, the claim that the ship was attacked again on the 4th of August is now known to be false. Even at the time, it was acknowledged that the second attack may not have actually happened. Captain John J. Herrick, the commander of Maddox, had spent 4 hours firing at enemy ships picked up on radar. However, he sent a message just a few hours later saying that no enemy boats had actually been sighted, and so the radar may have malfunctioned. President Lyndon B. Johnson was not informed of Herrick's message suggesting malfunctioning radar before he went on national television to announce that US ships had been attacked. His desire to retaliate led to the resolution, which led in turn to the USA escalating its involvement in the Vietnam War. The Gulf of Tonkin resolution granted powers to President Johnson to use American military force to assist countries in Southeast Asia that were facing so-called communist aggression. Many critics of the war condemned Congress for granting Johnson a blank check to escalate American military involvement in the Vietnamese conflict. At the time, it passed unanimously through the House of Representatives, and only 2 senators opposed it.
In August 1964, an American destroyer, the USS Maddox, on patrol in the Gulf of Tonkin, exchanged fire with North Vietnamese torpedo boats.
The President has asked the destroyer force be doubled and that an air cap, the combat air patrol, be available at all times on call to it. And as I think you know, he's issued instructions that in the event of a further attack upon our vessels in international waters, we are to respond with the objective of destroying the attackers.
getting it wrong in a photo. It became the most remembered photograph of the fall of Saigon, capturing the last chaotic days of Vietnam War. And most people believe that it showed desperate Americans crowding on top of the roof of the United States Embassy aboard a helicopter. That is what picture caption usually says. But as with much about the Vietnam War, the caption is wrong. The building is the apartment complex. The people fleeing are Vietnamese. The last helicopter left about 12 hours earlier. Later, 12 hours later. In its way, the photograph is a metaphor for all the misunderstandings that plagued the Vietnam War. Americans, whether conservative or liberal, often impose their own ideas on that troubling war. And that seems to be what happened with this picture, says Hubert Van Es, a United Press International photographer who took it 25 years ago on April 29th, 1975, from the roof of a hotel half a mile away. I put the correct caption on it, Mr. Van Es said, who now lives in Hong Kong, but people back in the United States just took it for granted that it must be the embassy, because that is where they believe the evacuation took place. This picture was an apartment building for employees of the United States Agency for International Development. Its top floor reserved for the Central Intelligence Agency Deputy Chief of Stations. The address was 22 GIA Ging Long Street. I lived around the corner as one of the last two correspondents of the New York Times remaining in Vietnam and left later that afternoon by a chopper from Tan Son Nhut Air Base. In the last days, as the embassy hastily prepared for the last stages of the evacuation, 22 GI Lawn was chosen as one of about a dozen possible gathering places for Americans half a mile from La.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, 5 candy, not easy.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next picture, the last famous picture. How the war ended.
That's the tallest, right?
Yes.
Nah, dia mah tua. Yeah.
Because they have 4,000 in history, there are so many heroes. And they did the rough name of the hero. Moving, walking street, this is the very famous walking street in
Or Ho
Saigon.
Chi Minh City. A lot of motorbikes.
Oh yeah.
There's the buses. Motorbikes. Lots of motorbikes.
Let me see about the ocean again and Lake Palm and
Get those motorbikes
Festival.
over there.
and then we stop for a shop yet for more singing.
$31 million.
Yes, you want to go there? Not yet.
Not yet. Sunday.
Someday, yes. Because they consider people die one time alive. Beautiful, lovely farewell car. You can take 100, 1,000 wedding car, but you die only once in your life. That's why they make beautiful farewell to the dead people. You want to be there? Not yet, huh?
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. That's when the people want to be there.
Inhabited by farmers. Many of the tunnels were then connected, forming a network.
During the Vietnam War, from 1955 to 1975, Ho Chi Minh City, known as Saigon, was the southern Vietnamese capital. The tunnels expanded from Saigon all the way to the Cambodian border. The National Liberation Front and North Vietnamese troops used the tunnels for attacks, transportation, and living quarters. They sent South Vietnamese and Western forces that were stronger and better equipped. The National Liberation Front turned to guerrilla tactics. They would launch sneak attacks, surprising enemies from the tunnels before disappearing below ground again. The tunnels were a strong defense from bombing overhead and were built to live in for months at a time. There were dorms for sleeping, kitchens for cooking, and dining halls for eating. The National Liberation Front had meeting rooms and storage space for ammunition. They dug wells for fresh water, and there were even theaters to entertain soldiers during downtime. One of the most challenging aspects was breathing underground. The troops dug ventilation holes that were camouflaged as termites' nests, tree stumps, and grass. But even then, there was sometimes a lack of air. They also dealt with disease, flooding, insects, and snakes.
This is still working. The agony in the mirror.
Of the 3.3 million Vietnamese men and women who died during the war, 45,000 of them lost their lives defending the Cu Chi tunnels. The Vietnamese government preserved the tunnels, which now serve as a war memorial and museum. We're now going into the Cu Chi tunnels. Today, visitors have the opportunity to learn and understand how the troops lived and survived. They dive 18 to 30 feet below ground and explore parts of the tunnel. These areas have been expanded to fit tourists, but they're still cramped quarters.
Oh, there's a lot. How people did that? I did not know. That wasn't even the actual size. It was like 3 times bigger.
Visitors can also learn the different techniques troops use to avoid infiltration of the tunnels. The War Memorial has replicas of booby traps found above and below ground during the war. And at an on-site firing range, tourists can shoot an AK-47 rifle and other guns used during the war.
It's super loud. I never would have thought. So I've never shot a gun, but I feel like this is an opportunity to, in a fairly safe environment.
And while visitors shoot, fall, and learn, the tunnels serve as a chilling reminder of the Vietnam War.
Alright, so we're here using the Western and there's some water in here. It's like painting.
You have to follow the group over there.
Okay.
But it's so long for toilet, 1 hour.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are running this I'll have to to let those.
Iba dito ni Sam. Yeah. Ah, that's the finished one. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so they're using an EXO shell, and then this one. This is the production area, and then they're gonna, I don't know how they're gonna hit it, but yeah. And let's show the finished product. This is the finished product of that. Yeah. Okay, so this is how they're gonna, what do you call it?
Grind it out.
Yeah.
Grind the shell.
Yeah. So they're gonna put a shell in here.
Yeah.
Actually, they have different color of eggshell. They have the white and then the brown. Okay, it's just the one making a working, and this is the finished product. Wow.
Dumb shell.
Dumb shell. And this is not sharp. No sharp. No.
Usually like that. Show me ready by him to make a
Look. This guy making it.
Okay, and bomb. It does not play here.
Our companion, where are they?
I don't know.
They still have
They're back. Okay.
And you see the yellow color of the extra here? We're not painting on the shelf. We burn on the fire to check the color. Nature color of it. I will show you the benefit. Burn it here. Like this one. You're not painting on it like we burn and share it in like on the and we combine with eggshell powder. We add it to make the eggshell powder. Like on. You know the feeling? It's not like cash. And the next step over there, follow me please.
Napa, Miss M?
I'll go back with you.
Sige daw.
Southeast in north occur, you get in deep ocean, under the land, shining and change the rainbow color. We will cut it by this way. After cut, they will cut many tiny shapes. This one, and then we stick them together. Not like this one. The ladies in áo dài. Of course. And then we lay them on the surface. This one is the brand. That's here. Then we throw the lacquer and polish. Many come to make it smooth and not like this. When it's smooth like this, under the line of shiny rainbow color. And you see the details on the heart here. We have to use a sharp knife to carve together the details. Need a lot of time. Okay,
Oh yeah, that's how they do it.
So we lacquer and polish over there.
Oh, they are the one that's gonna polish.
This is one thing. We need 22 times lacquer polish, and it's smooth like this. Then we use this one. You put on the surface, then you pump up and polish until the band shining like this. More hot, more shine. Before and after. Everything here when it's finished, like this, we just show and sell in the showroom. You can take a look inside if you love. You can buy and support the worker is here. When you get something in here, 50% the price we send to the worker for salary and health insurance. So thank you so much for listening. Yellow coming down.
Okay. So that's how they polished.
It's like the eggshell, right? Kind of.
Wala sa akin, ako ba? Ano sim ko na ayaw ko na pag-naam kung ano sim.
Huh?
Please don't take a photo.
Next Monday, lahat.
Oo.
Ay, this is so great. Sabi?
Follow me. Oh, of course. I went back.
Herbal. Masa na siya nakuha ng sim? Kanang ilang gigamit yun. Yun ang tanong. So they called it Vietnamese village locker.
In the front on the left hand side, when the car turn right, there's a picture on the left.
You'll get a picture out your window. This is the American embassy?
Yeah, no, American base.
Thanks. Oh.
Funded invention division by mistake. They built a bay on the top of the tunnel.
There's a main
Here, in front of you, there's the American base.
The red one.
By mistake, in 1966, they come to Saigon. They heard so many stories about the tunnel, and then they built on the top of the tunnels.
Don't put up.
Don't worry, later I send picture to you. I give you my WhatsApp code, and later you scan and then I take all the picture I send to you. And information you want, that's my pleasure of my study. And to tell you the truth, all the information I tell you for my study from internet online, not for my teacher teach me. When I make teacher teach you, nothing like me teach you today.
The red one.
They say how bad American is.
That's
something like that. Yeah, that's the you American base there, 25th Venture Divisions. Yeah, now you American base on the left hand side. Don't worry, later I send you the video record ready. Don't worry. So later I give you my WhatsApp code and then you send me your number I send to you.
Ho Chi Minh City, the largest city in Vietnam. In 1975, photojournalist Hubert Van Ness.
We're close to the tunnel. The tunnel.
What do you call this one, Miss I? This tree?
Nara?
No, it's not.
So that they are very interesting stories.
Nope.
We passing by the rubber tree plantation.
Rubber.
Yeah, rubber plantation.
Yeah.
You wait for 1 minute. Okay. So we passing by the rubber plantation. The rubber were introduced in Vietnam in 1941 by the French with the rubber latex. You know what they do with the rubber latex? This is the candy.